Oh yes, oh yes. The Premier League is back. The Premier League is back. Hello and welcome to this video for my first English Premier League predictions of the new season. Now, got some very good games coming up. We've obviously got Manchester United against Chelsea, we've got Leicester against Wolves, Newcastle, Arsenal, and obviously the season starts on Friday, so I'm here to give my prediction. But first, before I start this video, I would like to say a big thank you to Daniel Cullender, who actually gave me a wee shout out. Now obviously, for people who don't know who Daniel Cullender is, he is Fandango. Check his videos out, it's fantastic. But I just wanted to say a big thank you to him for giving me a wee shout out, because obviously last week was my predicted table, and this is obviously my first predictions, so I just wanted to say a big thank you, and I'll put his video in the video description as well. So yeah, obviously check out his stuff. But yes, time is now for my Premier League predictions. Game week 1, and the first game to start the season is Liverpool against Norwich. Now, the last time these two met, actually, it was an absolutely crazy game of football. Liverpool won 5-4 against Norwich, but that doesn't tell the whole story. Norwich were 3-1 up, and then it was 3-3. Liverpool went 4-3 ahead, and then it was 4-4. And then Alana scores a 90th minute winner, and I remember the celebrations for that game as well. Obviously, Benteke broke Jurgen Klopp's glasses. Actually, Norwich's last result at Anfield, though, gives them a bit of confidence. They actually drew 1-1 the last time they were at Anfield, so they've got a decent record, but they've not won for a wee while. Now we start for all of you. Sadio Mane, if he does start for Liverpool, and if he does score, he will be the first player in 24 years since Teddy Sheringham in the inaugural 1992-1993 season all the way to the 1995-1996 season by scoring in 4 consecutive opening games of the season. So obviously, if Sadio Mane does start, and if he does score, he will become the first player since Teddy Sheringham to have scored in 4 opening Premier League games of the new season. So that is going to be an interesting one. But Liverpool, obviously, formidable at Anfield. Crystal Palace were the last team to beat Liverpool at Anfield, the 23rd of April. 2017, so Norwich will hopefully want to be the first team to do that. Yeah, do you know what? Norwich were fantastic last season in the Championship. There's no doubt about that, and you know, it's going to be a very interesting game. But yeah, Norwich will probably not want to start at Anfield, but Daniel Farke has actually come out and said that his team will attack Liverpool, and obviously they won't sit back either, so it's going to be a very interesting game. Me, obviously, being a Liverpool fan, obviously I do want them to win this game, and I do think they will. I think Liverpool. I know Mohamed Salah missed a few chances against Manchester City, but I think he might score this week, and I wouldn't be surprised if he scores maybe 1 or 2. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 win to Liverpool. I do think Norwich will give them a good game, but I just think the class and of Liverpool's forward line will probably be far too much for Norwich. But I expect Norwich to give Liverpool a good game there. Now that was obviously Friday night, so that's obviously on Sky Sports News. This game next is West Ham against Manchester City. Now this is on BT Sport, which is a 12:30 kickoff. The last game between the sides, Manchester City beat West Ham by a single goal. But the last time Manchester City played at the London Stadium, they ran out 4-0 winners. Now Manchester City have scored more goals than any other side at the London Stadium. They really like playing West Ham, And in fact, West Ham's last victory against Manchester City, obviously this would be at Upton Park. They've never won at the London Stadium against Manchester City. Was 2015, and remember Diafra Sakho scored the winner that day. So it's going to be it's a tall order, but West Ham, they've brought some good players in. Pablo Fornal's definitely one of the ones to watch. Sebastian Haller as well. Can he lift the striker curse from West Ham? But we'll see about that one. Manchester City, obviously they've brought in Rodri. I think I'm hearing Cancelo is going to be coming in as well from Juventus, with Danilo going the other way as well. So going to be a very, very interesting one. But I can't see anything other than a Manchester City victory, to be honest. I just think that the way they're playing right now, and they love scoring goals at the London Stadium, but I do think West Ham will get one. I don't think Manchester City are as good defensively as they were. So it'll be very, very interesting to see. But I do think West Ham can get a goal, but I just think Manchester City will be far too much on the day. Sergio Aguero has scored more goals than any other current striker in game week 1 fixtures. He's scored 6 goals in game week 1 fixtures. So I would probably expect him to get on the score sheet. Probably Raheem Sterling as well, and maybe Bernardo Silva. So we'll see for that one. But for me, I do think Manchester City will be far too strong for West Ham. So I'm going for a 3-1 win to the Citizens. Bournemouth against Sheffield United. Now, Bournemouth and Sheffield United have not met in the top flight. So this is the first ever meeting in the top flight. Now, the last meeting was 23rd of February 2013, where Sheffield United actually won 1-0. And quite interestingly, I was checking this beforehand. Sheffield United have won. There have been 4 meetings between Sheffield United and Bournemouth. Sheffield United have won all 4 of them, and they're actually unbeaten in game week 1 fixtures. Obviously, they've scored the first ever goal of the Premier League. That was Brian Deane against Manchester United way back in 1992, and then obviously they drew with Liverpool in 2006-2007 as well. So they are unbeaten in game week 1 fixtures. However, having said that, it is a tall ask. It is a very, very tall ask for Sheffield United to go to Bournemouth. Bournemouth, obviously, they played Cardiff City last season in the game week 1. So they seem to be picking up the newly promoted teams to begin the season with. So I think it's a big season for Bournemouth. I think they'll want to do better, especially away form was their Achilles heel last season. So I think they'll want to do a lot better there. Sheffield United, obviously they've bought a few players in. It's mainly Championship players though. I mean, I've noticed that Lys Mousset is the Bournemouth striker, so he's obviously gone back to the Vitality Stadium. Maybe will he start? Be interesting to see. They've also brought Ravel Morrison in as well. It's another interesting one. But it'll be a very, very interesting one, this game as well. So, like I said, Bournemouth have never beaten Sheffield United. But however, it is the Premier League. They obviously have been in the Premier League longer. Welcome back, Sheffield United, is all I can say. And all the best to you. But I think Bournemouth will win this one. I think Bournemouth will get their first ever win over Sheffield United. I'm going for a 2-0 win to Bournemouth. And don't be surprised if Harry Wilson gets a start as well. He's obviously signed on a loan deal from Liverpool. So that'll be an interesting one as well. Burnley against Southampton. Now, this is the second season in a row that these two have met. Now, the last game between the sides was a 1-1 draw, and it was at Turf Moor. And obviously the last game at St Mary's was a 0-0 draw. So you can kind of see where my prediction is coming for this one. Burnley obviously brought in Jay Rodriguez. Southampton, they've brought in Che Adams, Danny Ings, of course, as well. So I do expect this one to be tight. Very, very tight. Obviously, Burnley losing Tom Heaton as well. That's a bit of a blow for them. Nothing much to be said, really. These sides are very, very closely matched. I'm going to go for 1-1 draw. Simple as that. Burnley won, Southampton won. Crystal Palace against Everton. Now, Crystal Palace have not beaten Everton at Selhurst Park since 1994. So it's a long, long time ago. Everton are unbeaten in the last 9 games against Crystal Palace. 5 wins and 4 draws. So it'll be very, very interesting to see. Obviously, Crystal Palace, obviously they've brought in Gary Cahill. It's mainly forward players I think they need, because obviously with the speculation over Wilfred Zaha's future, it's going to be very, very interesting to see if he actually stays at Crystal Palace. Everton, obviously they've brought in Moise Kean from Juventus, so that's going to be another interesting piece of business there. James McCarthy is obviously going the other way to Crystal Palace. He's obviously signing. And will Wilfred Zaha actually be an Everton player? I believe that Everton have had a bid rejected of 70 million, obviously, plus Cenk Tosun and obviously James McCarthy. But obviously James McCarthy is going to Crystal Palace in a separate deal. So it'd be interesting to see what would happen there. I don't know if they're going to get Zaha, but if they do get Zaha, then they add to their firepower. And I think Everton. Like I said, Everton have got a very, very good record against Crystal Palace. So, having said that, I think Palace's home form really let them down last season. And I think that is where they're going to have to improve. Definitely this season is their home form, because otherwise they're going to be definitely battling for relegation this season. If Zaha goes, and I just don't think they've got enough firepower. But Victor Camarasa, a Cardiff City player, he is in talks of a season-long loan. He's going to have a medical today. So it looks like that Victor Camarasa is going to come in. So he's probably likely to make his debut as well. But yeah, as for the score prediction is concerned, I'm going to have to go for an Everton win. I just think that Everton's firepower will be far, far too much for Palace. So I'm going to go for a narrow win. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to the Blues. Watford against Brighton now, and has to be said that these two met last season at Vicarage Road, and the score was Watford 2, Brighton 0. Obviously, the last meeting was a 0-0 draw at the Amex. Obviously, Watford have brought in Craig Dawson. They've managed to keep Doucouré as of now. They've managed to keep Etienne Capoue as well. Andre Gray they've still got as well. He seems to be being linked with a few championship clubs, which is very, very interesting. So that'd be interesting to see what would happen there. Brighton, they've obviously brought in Matthew Clark from Portsmouth. They've brought in Trossard from Genk, I think it is. And they're in talks, in fact, with Brentford over the signing of Neil Maupay as well. So more firepower for Brighton. So it'd be interesting to see if one of Florian Andoni or Jurgen Locadia goes this summer. But obviously with a day to go until the transfer deadline, it'd be very interesting to see if Brighton can add to their squad. As far as this game goes, I think Watford will be too strong for Brighton. I think it is going to be a season of struggle for Brighton. But Watford, if they can continue like they did last season, they'll have a good season. But for this game, I think Watford will be too strong for Brighton. Don't be surprised if Craig Dawson will probably start and probably get a goal. He's a threat from set pieces as well. So I think Watford will win this one. And I'm going to go for the same scoreline like they did 18 months ago. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Watford. I just think that Watford are too strong for Brighton. Now we've got the Saturday tea time game, which is Tottenham against Aston Villa. Now this is very, very interesting to see. It was the last game between the sides. Spurs won 2-0 against Aston Villa, which was way back in 2016. So it's great to see Aston Villa back up. It really, really is. Tottenham, obviously they've signed Ndombele. They've been linked with Dybala. Apparently a fee's been agreed. Be interesting to see if he does go there. Be interesting to see where Christian Eriksen goes as well. I'm not sure if he's going to stay at Tottenham. But having said that, it'll be very, very interesting to see what actually does happen with Tottenham. Harry Kane, obviously, he will obviously have that August thing in his mind. Obviously, he did score last August, so it's a monkey off his back. So obviously, he'll want to start scoring. Tottenham will have to do without Hyun-Min Song though. He is banned for the first 2 Premier League games after being sent off against Bournemouth last season. So I think that was the second last game of last season. So obviously Tottenham obviously had one more game after that. So I think the ban carries over. So he's banned for the first 2 games. So he will miss the game against Villa, and he will miss Manchester City next Saturday. So that's a massive, massive blow. Aston Villa, they've been very active in the transfer window. I think it's 11 players that they've signed. I don't think they're going to do a Fulham, because I think they bought really, really wisely. Tom Heaton especially is a fantastic signing. He really, really is. Proven Premier League goalkeeper as well. So I think Aston Villa will be fine. As far as this game goes, Aston Villa's last victory, in fact, at White Hart Lane was 2015. That was obviously when Tim Sherwood was in charge. So I don't think Villa will get anything here. I think Spurs will have too much for Villa, but a very, very good welcome back to Aston Villa, and I think they'll have a very good season. But I'm going for a 2-1 win to Tottenham. I just think that home advantage will be very, very key for Tottenham. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win to Tottenham. Now that is the Saturday games. We've got 3 games on the Sunday, and the first game, this is probably one of my games of the weekend so far. Leicester against Wolves. Now, the last game between the sides was an absolute classic. It was 4-3 to Wolves. Absolutely fantastic game of football. And these two are just this could be a very, very good game. Unfortunately, it's not on TV though, which really, really bugs me. But this game was obviously moved because of Wolves' participation in the Europa League. So it'll be very, very interesting to see who comes out on top in this one. Leicester, they've lost Harry Maguire. I think they are in the market for a centre back, but have been priced out of Nathan Ake because Bournemouth apparently value him over £75 million. So you're going to get that, I'm afraid. And also they were in the market for James Tarkowski, but he is apparently worth 40 million. But they do have the Harry Maguire money to spend, so it'll be interesting to see if they can get a centre back in. Wolves, on the other hand, they've obviously captured Den Donker permanently. They've signed Raul Jimenez permanently. They've also got Patrick Cutrone, another one to add, and they've got another 2 Portuguese players coming in as well. So yeah, I mean Wolves will be fine. I think in Europa League action. They're in Europa League action tomorrow as well. So I think this is why the game has been moved to the Sunday. I do think Leicester though. I think they have bought really, really well. They've bought Tillemans in. They've bought James Justin in from Luton Town. So that's obviously a backup to Chilwell. As a score prediction is concerned, these 2 teams love scoring against each other. I'm going for a real humdinger. I think this is going to be a very, very good game. I think there'll be lots of goals. Don't be surprised if Jamie Vardy gets on the score sheet. Don't be surprised if Raul Jimenez and Diego Jota continue that good partnership as well. I think there'll be goals. I'm going for a Desmond 2-2 between Leicester and Wolves. I think Leicester and Wolves will be very, very good. Definitely. Sorry about the lighting in here. Newcastle against Arsenal next. I think the last time between the sides, Arsenal won 2-0 against Newcastle. And obviously last season, Arsenal did actually beat Newcastle last time as well in St James's Park. Newcastle, it's been a summer of turmoil, I think it's safe to say. Mike Ashley obviously still in charge of Newcastle. When is he going to go? It's going to be very, very interesting to see what would happen there. But I think they've obviously brought Joe Linton in. There's a couple of other players coming in as well. A left back I think is coming in. I think his name's Kraft. I think that's his name. So it'll be very, very interesting. As for Arsenal, obviously Nicolas Pepe has come in. They're obviously going to get, is it Umbacano from Red Leipzig? They're still on trying to get Kieran Tierney. They will probably get him before the deadline, I would probably expect. Lauren Koscielny's obviously gone. The way his career at Arsenal ended was not very, very good. So it's a real shame to see his career basically go down the pot, really. But for this game, I think it's going to be another season of struggle for Newcastle. Steve Bruce is manager and Mike Ashley is a match made in hell, as far as I'm concerned. I don't see that happening. I don't see that continuing at all. I think Arsenal, obviously their Achilles heel was their away form last season. I just think they'll have far too much firepower for Newcastle. I do expect Newcastle to score because I think obviously if Arsenal continue to try and sign defenders, then it'd be very, very interesting to see. But yeah, they definitely need defenders, most definitely. But for this game, I'm going to have to go for an Arsenal win. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to the Gunners. I do think Newcastle are in for a season of struggle, like I said. Now, another game of the weekend is Manchester United against Chelsea. Now, the last time these two met was a 1-1 draw. Obviously, Juan Mata scored for Manchester United, and I think it was a Marcus Alonso goal that scored for Chelsea. Now, these two sides have a contrasting summers. Chelsea obviously have got a transfer ban, but they have signed Mateo Kovacic, so he's obviously still there. Lampard's obviously come in to Chelsea. He's obviously going to be. I think he's a good fit for Chelsea, but whether or not he gets the time is another matter. Manchester United, on the other hand, obviously Harry Maguire has signed now for a world record fee of £80 million. Some sources are saying 85, but I think it is 80 million. But he will improve that back line for Manchester United, definitely. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's come in as well, so it's another interesting piece of business, and again he is going to improve that defence, no doubt. But the problem is with Manchester United now that obviously Daniel James come in. He's raw. He's from the Championship as well. They look like they have lost out on Paulo Dybala. That move, as far as I'm concerned, is dead. Obviously, wages have been a stumbling block in that one. They were interested in Christian Eriksen, but that has been now dead in the water because they think that he's got his heart on a move to Real Madrid. So it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. Manchester United really need midfield players because at the minute, if Paul Pogba gets injured, then you really worry about their midfield, and also in fact that Paul Pogba, his future is still up for grabs. It's still up in the air, so it's very, very interesting to see where he will end. But I don't see him leaving. I don't see anyone being able to afford him either. This game is live on Sky Sports as well. It's a 4:30 kickoff. Newcastle Arsenal, I forgot to say, is a 2 p.m. kickoff as well for Sky Sports as well. So as far as the score prediction goes, these games are quite tight. I do think that United have home advantage. I do think that Chelsea, obviously being away, it's a tough start for Frank Lampard, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is coming into his first full first season in charge of Manchester United, so it'll be very, very interesting to see what would happen there. As far as the score prediction goes, I'm actually going to go for a United win. Now, I've been toying over this prediction. I'm thinking in my head. I've been thinking draw. I've been thinking United win. I've been thinking I've been thinking a 0-0, but I do think that United will scrape the win, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to the Red Devils. I do think that it will be the start that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer really, really wants, and with all the the turmoil over the Glazers, obviously Manchester United fans I've been seeing on Twitter are not happy at all. So it'll be very, very interesting to see who comes out on top. But for me, I'm going for a United win. So that is my predictions for the start of the season. So I'll just go over them very, very quickly. Liverpool 3, Norwich 0. West Ham 1, Manchester City 3. Bournemouth 2, Sheffield United 0. Burnley 1, Southampton 1. Crystal Palace 0, Everton 1. Watford 2, Brighton 0. Tottenham 2, Aston Villa 1. And then the Sunday games, Leicester 2, Wolves 2. Newcastle United 1, Arsenal 3. And Manchester United 1, Chelsea 0. Now, if you want to have your score predictions, then please leave them in the comments section below. I want to have as much fan interaction as well. Obviously, leave your score predictions in the comment section below, and we'll see how we do every week. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So, thank you very much for watching, and please like, subscribe, share. That would be fantastic for me. And yeah, I will be back tomorrow with my Game Week 2 SPFL predictions, so look ahead to that one as well. But thank you very much for watching this video, and yeah, the Premier League is back. The best league in the world is back, so we will look forward to that one as well. Obviously, Liverpool-Norwich being the first game on Friday, and obviously enjoy. Good luck to all your teams. I really hope they do you proud. But yeah, good luck to all your teams, and enjoy your weekend. And I'll be back very, very soon with another video.